Thank you for clicking on the channel.
AOSD.
Similar Sound Doctrine Chandler.
Similar Sound Doctrine.
AOSD, RPK, Resurrection Prophet Kingdom. Like, subscribe, share. Let's go!
Come get a lesson. I'm teaching blessings. No need for guessing. I'm knowledge testing. It's truth time. The wise will shine, and the wicked will pine. I'm a righteous kind. Break out of trouble, I'm keeping it subtle. Just me and my brothers and sisters. They love us, we fixing the puzzle, no stressing. Our cousins, the buck of the struggle with aunties and cuz. Wanna read it, believe it. They should be back, see it and need it. Like a kid back, breaches and pieces. Like a Kit Kat, Akis and I get seated. It's a Hollywood, not Dollywood. Alpha love, the kingdom within. AOSD is finessing. RPK, let your journey begin. It's a Hollywood, not Dollywood. Alpha love, the kingdom within. AOSD is finessing. RPK, let your journey begin. AOSD, 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 Assembly Sound Doctrine. Oh yeah, give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second indeed. Alright. Phone might be doing a little tripping. Hold on, I gotta respond to one of my brothers from an earlier post. So this is what I'm doing right now. I told him when I got home I was gonna address it. So I'm home now. All right, subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right, sorry about that, y'all. I got everything lined up, but I guess I got it in the wrong place. I got my camera in the wrong place. But I'm not gonna try to be too long on here. I'm just gonna go over the discussion. Now I could bring it up on the computer, but I'm not. Okay, I'm not gonna bring it up. Well, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go through the post. This is when they was trying to say that Christ is not the one in Isaiah 53:10, right? All right, the first thing, and Brother Mariel, I told you I was going to respond to you when I got in, right? So the first thing my brother said that in Isaiah 53:10, this guy doesn't die. So let's go Isaiah 53. Let's see if this guy dies, right? He made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death. So we have grave, death, because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in him. It pleased the Lord to bruise him. Let's see here. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin. So we have an offering for sin. And where else? Verse. Let's see here. Therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he had poured out his soul unto death. So there's a lot of language dealing with death. So his death unto death. Let's see here. He was offered as a sin sacrifice. Where else did it say? What? He made his grave with the wicked and the rich with his death. So it seems like this guy died. Okay, he got his grave with the wicked, the rich in his death. So it seems like the guy died. Okay, and because he poured out his soul into death. So it seems like the guy died. Okay, so that's one objection that he said. He said, where does he say he dies? Okay, prolonged isn't death, means he was about to die or end, but then recover. And I believe if we read it in this actual content, this is what it's saying. He made his grave with the wicked and with the rich his death. So that's the death right there. Because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth. Yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him. So that bruising of him happened during his death, right? He had put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin. So right now, this is the death right here. His soul an offering for sin. That's the sin offering. He was killed. He shall see his seed. He shall prolong his days. So what this is death. This is resurrection. Okay? Death. Make his soul an offering for sin. Okay? That's death. And after that death, he shall see his seed. He shall prolong his days. That means back to life. That's resurrection. If you go in context. Okay? So you got death and resurrection. So let's keep going. I said he's given for a sin offering. With sin offering didn't include death. He said, I can offer you my dog. Do that mean I have to kill it? No, I said no. Prolonged after the death means resurrection. All sin offering wasn't killed. The Yom Kippur lamb was a sin offering, but was released into the wilderness, not killed. And I went to say that it wasn't a sin offering. Okay, the sin offering itself was killed, but that was part of the festival that they had. Okay, but the sin offering itself was killed. let's see, but it says giving a soul as a sin offering. So we can say he was about to die, but his days was prolonged. So either way, he didn't die if his life was prolonged. No, it said that his soul, when thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin. So it says that his soul is going to be made an offering for sin. It doesn't say that it stops the offering. It says he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days. If anybody know, this is dealing with resurrection. He was offered, he was killed, and then he was resurrected. He resurrected. He said the scapegoat, and I showed the scapegoat wasn't. Now, he said that the story is Hezekiah during his sickness. When he was on his deathbed, Isaiah 38, 2 Kings 20, 2 Chronicles 32:32 tell you the story. Okay, I want to go there real fast. Isaiah 38. In those days was Hezekiah sick unto death. And Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos, came unto him and said unto him, Thus said the Lord, set thine house in order, for thou shalt die and not live. And Hezekiah turned his face toward the wall and prayed unto the Lord and said, Remember now, O Lord, beseech thee, now I have walked before thee in truth and have a perfect heart and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore. I have seen thy tears. Let's see here. I will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria, and I will defend this city. That the Lord, I will bring again the shadow of the decrees. I said, in the cutting off of my days, I should go into the gates of the grave. I am deprived. Okay, I think this is what it says right here. I said, in the cutting off of my days, I should go to the gates of the grave. I am deprived of the residue of my years. I said, I shall not see the Lord, even the Lord, in the land of the living. I shall behold man no more with the inhabitants of the world. So I guess this is him saying that he's getting ready to go down to the grave, right? He will cut me off. He will cut me off with pine and sickness. From day to even to night, make an end of me. I reckon till morning that is as a lion, like a crane, what shall I say? Behold, for peace I have great beauty. Okay, I guess this is it right here. O Lord, by these things men live, and all these things is the life of my spirit. So wilt thou recover me and make me to live. Behold, for peace I had great bitterness, but thou hast in love to my soul delivered it from the pit of corruption. For thou hast cast all my sins behind thy back. For the grave cannot praise thee, death cannot celebrate thee. They can go down into the pit, for the living he praises thee. I do thee, Father, the Lord was ready to save me, therefore we sing so blah blah. For Isaiah had said, Let me take a lump of figs and lay it. Hezekiah also said, What is the sign that I should go up into the house of Israel? So now, all of these things that I just read, right? And I know I just skipped over some of it. Let's go to Isaiah 37, right? So this is what Hezekiah is going through personally. Okay? The nation delivered fathers. Let's see here. They cast their gods in the fire. They'll make known that our Lord only. Let's see here. What I'm looking for where it's saying that all of the sins of Israel was going to be placed on Hezekiah. I don't see it in Isaiah. All of the sins of Israel was going to be placed on Hezekiah. I don't see where it says he had a deformed shape. I don't see where it said he was beaten or they were saying he was smitten because of the Lord. I don't see none of it. Let's look at Isaiah 53 now. Let's see all the things that had to happen. He is despised and rejected of men. What happened? He had no form nor comeliness, And when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. Hezekiah was a king, wasn't he? He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid it as it were our faces from him. He was despised and we esteemed him not, right? Surely he had borne our griefs and carried our sorrow. This is the whole nation. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. He was wounded for our transgression. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. Now, I don't see this being Hezekiah at all. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He was praying, right? He is brought to, as a lamb to the slaughter. I mean, this can't be, none of this goes with him, right? He made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death because he had no violence in him. He had done no violence, neither was there any deceit in his mouth. I don't see how that works with Hezekiah. But let's show anyway how this cannot be Hezekiah anyway, okay? Let's show you how this can't be Hezekiah. Isaiah 52, awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion. Put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come unto thee the uncircumcised and the unclean. Shake thyself from the dust, arise and sit down, O Jerusalem, right? So we have them shaking and all this stuff. Therefore my people shall know my name. Therefore they shall know in that day that I am he that does speak. Behold, it is I. So now you have the awaken from the dust and my people shall know my name, right? So number two elements that has to happen. So this is how we know it's not Hezekiah. You go to Daniel 12 and 1 and 2. The great prince shall stand up, and there shall be a time of trouble, blah, blah, blah. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting content. So that's them coming out of the dust of the earth, awaking, right? They're awaking out of the dust of the earth. Now, let's go back to Isaiah 52 to show this is around the same time, right? They had to awake out of the dust. What does Isaiah 52 say? Isaiah 52. Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion. Verse 2. Shake thyself from the dust, arise and sit down. They're awaking from the dust. Okay? They're awaking from the dust. So, they don't awake from the dust several times. They don't keep awaking from the dust over and over again. Okay, so all this is about one time period, right? And we know that this involves the new covenant because verse 6 is a new covenant thing. It's not an old covenant thing. It's a new covenant thing. Okay? And as you keep reading in 53, this servant comes within the new covenant, and he himself goes through a resurrection. So he goes through a resurrection, and Zion goes through a resurrection. So let's go back to Daniel 12 to find out when the resurrection occurs. Okay, Daniel 12. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, some to shame and everlasting content. So when did Daniel 12 say this was going to happen? Around what time? Around the time, from the time of the day the sacrifice should be taken away and the abomination to make desolate set up, there should be 1,290 days. So this arising from the dust, right? This arising from the dust, this awakening from the dust is going to happen around the time that the abomination of desolation is set up. Okay? So then, Daniel 11, for the ships of Chittim, you got Rome coming in against the king of Greece. And look what it says, 31, and arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that make desolate. So now, you got the abomination of desolation set up right there, dealing with a war. Daniel 12, 1 and 2, you have the time of trouble, dealing with the war. Then you got the resurrection, dealing with around the time of the war. And this it lets you be, Daniel 12 and 11, let it be known that this is around the time that the daily sacrifice is taken away and the abomination of desolation set up, right? So then you go to Daniel 9, verse 26. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. This is a time of trouble. This is their war. And at the end thereof, with the flood, and to the end of the war, it's telling you right there, the end of the war, desolations are determined. So you have it right there. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week, he shall call the sacrifice and oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate, even to the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. So now, all of this has to happen. So the resurrection had to happen around this time period, right? And this happens under the fourth beast, right? Under the fourth beast. Under the fourth beast, the abomination of desolation is set up, and many of them that sleep in the dust, they're going to awake, right? So when is this happening? Daniel 7, and I saw the night vision, behold, a fourth beast. And look what happened under the fourth beast. A fiery stream issued from before him, 1,000 ministered to him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were open. What is resurrection? Around the judgment, right? This is the time of trouble. The judgment set, and the books were open. And then this is when the kingdom is given. Dominion and glory and the kingdom given. So, all of this happens around the fourth beast, okay? All of this happened around the fourth beast. So, Isaiah 52. Awake, awake, shake thyself from the dust. Arise and sit down. That's the same thing that Daniel was quoting. Isaiah came before Daniel. So Daniel, under the Babylonians, learning from the Babylonians, he's saying the same thing, but he's using a different speech pattern, because now he has a Babylonian influence. So with the Babylonian influence, he's not going to talk just like the Hebraic influence. You're going to tell that some of his setting has partaken the way that he explained things. So the same way he said it right here, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, right? That's how he said under the Babylonian influence, pulling from Isaiah. And what did Isaiah say? Isaiah 52. Awake, awake, shake thyself from the dust, arise and sit down. They're going to awake from the dust of the earth. Awake, awake, shake the dust from you, arise. It's the same exact thing. Okay, so now, Hezekiah wasn't around doing the fourth beast, so it can't be Hezekiah. Okay, so now let's see the other one. Let's see the other one. He said, how you associate the resurrection dust and dirt aren't the same. Well, we're going to see. It's speaking of coming out of captivity. Well, resurrection, coming back into the land, is actually it is them coming out of captivity on a type of resurrection, dealing with them coming back into the land. But that deals more with the Garden of Eden. Death took Adam out of the Garden of Eden. Them coming back into the Garden of Eden, which represented life or the resurrection, which dealt with more the land of Canaan being their Eden. But let's look at what Isaiah is actually pulling from real fast. Okay, let's see what's going on in Isaiah. Okay. Isaiah 26, and let's start at 13. Because this is where my brother got this from. This is them being out of the land and them having to come back in, right? 12. Lord, thou would ordain peace for us, for thou also hast wrought all of our works in us. O Lord, our God, other lords beside thee have had dominion over us, but by thee will we make mention of thy name. They are dead, they shall not live. They are deceased, they shall not rise. Therefore hast thou visited and destroyed them, and made all their memory to perish. So they were dead because they had others reigning over them, right? Thou hast increased the nation, O Lord. Thou hast increased the nation. Thou art glorified. Thou hast removed it far into the ends of the earth. Lord, in trouble have thy visited thee. They poured out their prayer when thy chastening was upon them. Like as a woman with child that draweth near the time of her delivery, is in pain and cried out in her pains, so we have been in the sight, O Lord. We have been with child. We have been in pain. So this is pretty much what's going on in the book of Revelation. We have, as it were, brought forth wind. We have not wrought any deliverance in the earth, neither have the inhabitants of the world fallen. Thy dead men shall live. Together with my dead body shall they arise. So now, what's going on here? Thy dead shall live. My dead body shall they arise. Awake and sing, ye that dwell in dust. For thy dew is as the dew of herbs, and the earth shall cast out the dead. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut the doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, a little moment until the indignation be overpassed. So they had to flee until that war was over with. For behold, the Lord, look, verse 26. For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. Okay? So now, this is actually war. This is judgment, right? This isn't them coming into the land right here, right? This is them actually, let me see, hiding themselves. This is actually them running out of the land, right? But look what's happening here. This is exactly what Daniel was pulling from, okay? So you can't separate Daniel 12 and Daniel 11 and Daniel 9 and Daniel 7 from Isaiah 26 because they're talking about the same thing. And so is Isaiah 52. They're all talking about the same exact thing. So you can't make them be about different occurrences. So, and we're going to show you in Isaiah 27 too. I'm going to show you all of it, right? So now let me show you. Like as a woman with child that draweth near the time of her delivery, and in pain, and cried out in her pain, so we have been in the sight, O Lord. We have been with child. We have been in pain. We have had it brought and have brought forth wind. We have not wrought any deliverance in the earth, neither have the inhabitants of the world fallen. Thy dead men shall live. Together with my dead body they shall arise. So now, you got a dead body in Isaiah 53, then he dies, and then his life is prolonged, so he's rising, right? Thy dead men shall live, together with my dead body shall they arise. And if you know the New Testament, it said in Christ's in baptism, we rose with Christ. But let's don't go to the New Testament. Let's just leave it where it is. Thy dead men shall live, together with my dead body shall they arise. Awake and sing, ye that dwell in the dust. Okay? For thy dew is the dew of herbs. The earth shall cast out the dead. Okay? So now, what's going on here? Look what it says. Thy dead men shall live, together with my dead body shall they arise. Awake and sing, ye that dwell in the dust, for the dew of the dew, for thy dew is the dew of herbs, and the earth shall cast out the dead. How is there any different from Daniel 12? These are the birth pains right here. And there should be a time of trouble such as was not since there was a nation even to that same time. That's the birth pains right there that Isaiah 26 was talking about. Now, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. That's them awaking out of the dust. Some to everlasting life and some to shame and everlasting content. Just because Isaiah says it a different way than Daniel said it, doesn't mean they're not talking about the same subject. These are two totally different individuals that have two totally different personalities that lived at, different time periods. Daniel learned, he was skilled with the Babylonians after the captivity. Daniel wrote in captivity. Isaiah wrote outside. So now, thy dead men shall live, together with my dead body shall they arise. The earth shall cast out the dead. So this is Daniel 12:2. So this happens during the fourth beast. Okay? And if that's not good enough for you, it says, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants. So then, when you go to Isaiah 27, in that day the Lord with his sword and great strong sword shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. This is what's going on in the book of Revelation. Let's keep reading. He shall cause them that come out of Jacob to take root. Israel shall blossom in blood and fill the face of the world with fruit. Right? He has smitten him, and he smote those that smote him. Or is he slain according to the slaughter of them that are slain by him? So now what's happening? He has caused them that come. Now listen to the connect. He had caused them that come of Jacob to take root. Israel shall blossom in bud and fill the face of the world with fruit. So these people came out of the resurrection. These are the people that awoke. They came out of the resurrection. So now they're filling the face of the world with fruit. This is what's going on in Revelation 22. But you go back to Daniel. Go back to Daniel. Daniel 12:3. And they shall be wise. And they that be wise shall shine in the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So you got the wise shining as the brightness of the firmament, and you got them turning many to righteousness, and then you got knowledge increasing, right? Isaiah 27, you have, get out here. Isaiah 27, you have them that come out of Jacob to take root. Israel shall blossom in bud and fill the face of the whole world with fruit. So that fruit has to be that knowledge, right? These are those shining and causing many to turn to righteousness. Isaiah is saying it one way, Daniel is saying it another way, right? So now, let's keep reading. He has smitten him as he smote those that smote him, or is he slain according to the slaughter of them that are slain by him? In measure, when it shooteth forth, thou wilt debate with it. He stayeth his rough wind in the day in the east wind. By this therefore shall the iniquity of Jacob be purged, And this is all the fruit to take away his sin. When he maketh all the stones of the altar as chalk stone that are beaten in sunder, the groves and images shall not stand, yet the defenced city shall be desolate, and the habitation forsaken, and left like a wilderness. There should be the calf feed, and there should be he that lie down and consume the branches thereof. Right? So now, and you have it right there. And it should come to pass in that day that the great trumpet shall be blown, and they should come, which was ready to perish in the land of Assyria, and the outcasts in the lands of Egypt, and shall worship the Lord in the holy mount at Jerusalem. Right? So this is them coming into the Lord, which is, and we'll go through that later. What I want to show y'all here now, right? You have the iniquity of Jacob being purged, right? You got the iniquity of Jacob being purged. Okay? The iniquity of Jacob being purged. Isaiah 52. And is it 6? Yes. Therefore my people shall know my name. How do they become his people? Jeremiah 31, 33, and 34. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, said the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. So they don't be his people until they get the new covenant. And they should teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, said the Lord. So how shall they all know me? We'll go to that in a second. For they shall all know me. So every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for they shall all know me, right? For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. What's happening? I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. They will not teach every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for they shall all know me. For I will forgive their iniquity and remember their sin no more. Isaiah 27 again, right? By this, therefore, shall the iniquity of Jacob be purged. Now, this is new covenant thing. I'm going to remember their iniquity no more. How is he going to forget their iniquity? And this is the fruit to take away his sin. How is he going to take away the sin and forget their iniquity? When he make desolate all the stones of the altar as chalk stones that are beating in sunder, the groves and images shall not stand. So the temple and the altar, which was inside the temple, had to be destroyed. And what else happened? The defenced city shall be desolate, and the habitation forsaken. And what else he said? Then they all would know the Lord. How? And it shall come to pass in that day, the trumpet shall be blown, and they shall come that was ready to perish, and worship the Lord in the holy mount at Jerusalem. They was going to all know the Lord because they all was going to be invited. All of them. These are the Gentiles being invited to go into Jerusalem and worship the Lord. This is all allegorical and metaphors. But now you have the temple being destroyed and the city being made desolate. That's taking away the iniquity of Jacob, allowing them to be his people. When did that happen? Well, let's go back to Daniel, trusty Daniel. Daniel 9. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and into the end of the war desolations are determined. He shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease, for the overspreading of abominations. He shall make it desolate, even to the consummation that is determined shall be poured upon the desolate. So you got the desolation right there. The city made desolate because of the war. Right? And you have it right here. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city to finish the transgression, to make an end of sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity, and bring in everlasting righteousness. How did sins end? How was reconciliation for iniquity brought in? Isaiah 27. By this therefore shall the iniquity of Jacob be purged, and this is the fruit to take away his sin, when he maketh all the stones of the altar as chalk stones that are beaten asunder, and the groves and images shall not stand. That's the war. That's the war in Daniel 7, Daniel 9, Daniel 11, Daniel 12. This is all that war under the fourth beast. So, when you get back to Isaiah 52, awake, awake, O Jerusalem, shake thyself from the dust, arise and sit down. This is dealing with that war, right? Let's see here. For my people shall know my name. That's the new covenant then. They're going to publish peace and all that stuff, right? When the Lord shall bring again Zion. That was found in Isaiah earlier. And the holy arm, they're going to see the salvation of God. And then he goes in and tell you that his servant is coming during that time period. Okay? And that same servant was around during the Fourth Empire, which would have been Rome. So it couldn't have been Hezekiah. That resurrection occurred during the fourth beast, that fourth empire also. So whoever this, if you don't want to believe that this person is Christ, whoever he is, he lived during the Roman Empire. That's all I can say. During the Roman Empire, this person lived. So it couldn't have been Hezekiah. All right. I think I addressed everything that was said. Let me see here. Let's see here. Okay. So I think that's pretty much it then. Yep, that's pretty much it. Hopefully that helped. Hopefully that answered all the things that I had to say. So, shalom.